NSW's Emergency Services Minister has issued a grim warning to residents of the saturated state that even more wet weather is ahead after a short window of sunshine breaks through the storms in the next 2 days. Addressing the media in a press conference on the current flooding dangers throughout the state after almost a week of rain helped break Sydney's yearly rainfall record after just 9 months, Minister Steph Cooke and spokespersons for the Bureau of Meteorology and Police Emergency Services emphasized there was even more trouble ahead. Emergency Services Minister warns residents. The sun might be out in various parts of the state, we may be seeing some dry conditions at the present, but our rivers continue to rise and we know that there is another event coming through, the minister said. We may see a reprieve for a few days but we will be heading into some more difficult conditions towards the end of the week. My message is, please don't be deceived. Communities in regional, rural and remote New South Wales will be on edge for the next few days while we await another big system to arrive. The Bureau said the low-pressure system responsible for the rain of the last few days and which has caused chaos at Bathurst has now moved off the coast and there are set to be a couple of days of fine weather. Floods will remain inland over the next couple of days, Bureau of Meteorology meteorologist Jane Golding said. But we have another weather event, coming into effect on Wednesday. That weather event is set to lash the state until Friday. It is expected to cause more headaches for already stretched SES operations, as police once again urged people not to drive in the rain following 21 flood rescues overnight. We have seen a lot of rain in the Hunter and on the Central Coast, said New South Wales SES Commissioner Carleen York. We have had evacuations, including a medical evacuation in northern metropolitan Sydney, where a vehicle was flooded up to the seat. Any subsequent rain raises the likelihood of flash flooding. There were warnings that the Richmond Bridge could be closed by rising floodwaters pushing up the Nepean River overnight. Evacuation orders have been put in place for Western Plains Tourist Park in Dubbo. Cooke warned residents against complacency as calmer weather conditions develop this afternoon. Our rivers are full. They are at capacity. And our ground is saturated. We are asking on that basis for people to please stay informed, stay up to date with the warnings put out by the Bureau of Meteorology. 5 emergency warnings have been issued for people to evacuate since midday on Saturday. 4 evacuation centers have been established at Castle Hill, Dubbo, North Richmond, and Richmond. Cooke added warnings could be in place for areas in NSW for quite some time. We know that in inland New South Wales, the floodwaters will continue to be a problem for communities not just for the weeks ahead, but for months, Cooke said. I really want to emphasize today that the flooding situation in every single community is unique, and encouraging people not to become fatigued by the number of warnings. York told reporters at the moment there are 94 warnings in place across the state, however, conditions are expected to ease. The Bureau has forecasted that by Monday and Tuesday the rain might be easing off until this next front comes through on Wednesday, she said. York urged residents to use the time early next week to prepare for more rainfall and flooding. It's a really important time for our communities and those that are at risk of flooding or effects of the weather to re-prepare. Get some provisions and if you think you might be cut off again and go to the SES or the council to get sandbags if you need them, she said. Because again, the rivers are really at their peak in a lot of areas, and this added rain will just exacerbate the problem.